Show. Co-host Miranda Panda Tiffany, Tom Padovano, with tonight's guest John Fox, Connie Perry, Julian Saul, Victoria Arnstein, Jitten Naythal, and Jody Oliver. And I'm your announcer, Bodybuilder Bob. And now, take it away, Freddie Coscia.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on Staten Island, it's the Staten Island Comedy Show with your host, Nevin Cummings.
Yeah, Freddie Coscia, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Staten Island Comedy Show. We're going to have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned. We have comedians. Boy, we got a lot of comedians, Freddie and Bob. Yeah. But you know what, Fred?
What?
And Bob.
Yes.
This guy, he goes to the highway department to get a job and to paint the lines on the highway. So the guy hires him and says, okay, I want you to paint at least 2 miles of lines a day. So the guy goes out, first time he goes out and he paints 4 miles of lines. So the boss says, oh, okay, that's good, it's better than average. Goes out again and he paints 2 miles of lines the next day. So the boss says, oh, okay, well, he decreased, but at least he's keeping pace. So the last, third day he goes out and he paints 1 mile. So the boss says, oh, I got to go talk to him. So he goes and talks to the guy, and the guy, he says, listen, you know, why do you keep painting less lines? Was there an accident? You don't feel good? Anything like that? The guy says, no, I keep getting further and further from the bucket. From the bucket, Fred, from the bucket, from the bucket. For God's sakes, from the bucket. So anyway, wow. I have a unprecedented thing. Saki's going to join me on the opener.
Saki.
Hey, how you doing, Nev? Hey, Nev, how you doing? Hey, Saki, you know, Saki, I have a thing on Facebook. They have a saying under your name on the timeline, and my saying is, you must be the change you want to see in the world. And that was by Gandhi. Oh, that's great, Nev. Do you have anything that you want to share with, you know, an incentive or, you know, get out there to people to do? Yeah, Nev, you should always give 100%, except when you're giving blood. All right, Saki. All right, Saki, we got a big lineup. We got to get going. Okay, Nev, one more joke. It's a knock-knock joke. Okay, Saki, knock-knock. Knock-knock. Who's there? Wilbur Wright. Wilbur Wright who? We'll be right back after this drum solo. Fred Coscia, take it away! Got back in time. Okay, we're at the Staten Island Comedy Show. Thank you, Freddie, and thank you, Bob. Okay, and we have Tom Padovano as a co-host this week. Hi,
Great
Tom.
to be here.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
For the 96th time.
97, this okay. 97.
All right, so, and we have our usual co-host, Miranda Panda.
Hello.
And we have to get going right away because we have a lot of comedians. And our first comic up is Victoria. Victoria, how are you?
Hi, good. I'm great. How are you?
What's your last name?
Arnstein.
Arnstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arnstein, right?
Arnstein.
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 No, Arnstein.
Arnstein.
Like Nikki Arnstein, like Nikki Arnstein. I'm Victoria Arnstein, or
okay.
Vicky Arnstein.
Vicky Arnstein. Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn originally.
Oh, nice, nice. And you just came back from Hawaii, what I hear.
I was living in Hawaii for 6 years. Yes.
Wow. That's nice.
Thank you.
Beautiful, right?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been doing comedy?
Since 2012.
2012.
Took a little break in Hawaii, and then I got back into it, and I've been doing it ever since for about 3.5 years.
Oh, okay. All right, good. What sets you apart from other comics?
I mean, what sets me apart? I just I have a lot of observational humor, and it's also very much my take on what's going on with the current world today and my family life,
Oh, okay.
Just
And
me
that's-
being a mom and a wife, I guess.
Okay, and that's your routines based on some of this
Yeah,
stuff?
pretty much.
Okay, great, nice.
Yeah.
And who's your favorite comic?
I like Gaffigan. I like Jim Gaffigan, Bill Burr. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like those guys.
Those guys are good. And
Joan Rivers, of course.
Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do you have any dark secrets that you would like to share with Staten Island?
My name's
and the
Victoria,
city?
so I have Victoria's Secrets, but
Oh, Victoria's Secret.
Very good,
All right,
very
very good.
I do have some dark secrets. They're just like little shades of gray, though. They're not that dark.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nothing crazy.
Okay, so what's your favorite, besides this show, what's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show.
A comedy TV show?
Yeah, comedy TV show. I like The Golden Girls a lot.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
classic.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a guaranteed laugh.
Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yeah, they're
stuff
so
like that.
fun.
Okay. Do you have any other interests or hobbies?
Yes, I was an ultra runner. That's
Oh,
a
wow.
marathon.
Yeah.
Keep going on a marathon. It's like
Oh.
a double marathon. I'm an artist, I'm an oil painter, and I'm a singer.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
nice. Fred, singer.
Jacqueline of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully master of some.
Well, yeah, no. If I tried.
Yeah.
Do
Do
you-
you have any? Sorry.
Good.
Do you have any advice for aspiring comedians?
Just get out there and I practice on people like standing online at the bank or, just practice on people all day long because your audience really is everyday people.
Yeah.
Go to a lot of open mics, I would say, even though you can't really get a gauge, at least you get used to speaking on a mic and being on a stage and hearing your own self. And if you really are into comedy and you take it seriously and just keep going at it. Just like anything else, it's a muscle that you just need to continue to use. And I'd say to just even have a microphone in your house, like a karaoke machine. I have one.
Yeah. No, that's
That's my deep dark secret. See how that tied in there? Yeah.
And you also do a lot of open mics and stuff in New York City. You have a lot of
I put on open
places.
mics, actually, yeah.
Actually put on open mics in
Yeah.
different comedy clubs, right?
Yeah, I put on open mics at Broadway Comedy Club in New York City.
Oh, okay.
And I also put on shows there. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Looking
Now-
for people all the time.
Oh, good.
It's
Now
a nice
what's-
place.
Oh, yeah, it is, right?
It's a classic. I mean, it's in
Yeah.
the heart of New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Can't get
nice.
better.
Great. Now, do you have any other projects you're currently working on?
I'm focusing on putting on shows at the Broadway Comedy Club and getting more stage time and doing open mics and looking for comedians all the time that want to do comedy. And I'm going to have a demo reel tape show. I say tape because I'm so old. But it's, where they can get their best workout and they can show it to other people.
Okay,
So.
And how do we get your information on Facebook and stuff?
Facebook, Victoria 2C Arnstein. Instagram, I'm Victoria the Comedian, really, on everything. On YouTube, on Instagram, and my website are all Victoria the Comedian.
Okay,
And now
great.
I have to stay a comedian because I don't want to change anything.
Okay. All right, great. So you have 5 minutes for us?
Yeah.
Okay, Victoria Arnstein.
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 Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to see my show. So I've been married for 20 years. I just celebrated 20-year wedding anniversary. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, my God, it was such a special, special night. Oh, my husband took me to this supermarket, and it wasn't just any supermarket. It was Whole Foods, okay? I must have been doing something right. No, I mean, it's very hard to be married. Anybody married here? Any relationships? It's hard. It's hard. I mean, no matter how many times I tell my husband, he always gets this wrong. Every single time. He says, "Why do you have to flirt with the UPS man?" I said, oh my God, get it straight. It's the USPS man, all right? Clearly wearing different outfits. Now to end his confusion, I have to hang out with the FedEx guy. And the pool boy. We don't have a pool. But my friends have a pool table, so I take lessons there. My husband travels so much, it's starting to get to me. You know, I'm alone a lot, you know, so I'm starting to talk to myself. So I finally went to go see a doctor just to get my my body felt up. It's been a while. At least he said he was a doctor. He was wearing white. The point is, it's not cheating if it's a doctor. Ladies, take notes. No, but I got very lucky because it was a very thorough examination for little to no coverage, so going back on Tuesday. It's important to take care of your health is my message here today. I can't go to my old doctor anymore. I really can't. Every time I went, he got so angry with me because every time I went, I just wanted to save time. I would just strip down to nothing. He was my eye doctor, but it would never be too thorough, guys. Plus, the lighting was better in the waiting room.
Oh, God.
I hate kids. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate everybody's kids, I just hate mine. It's so clingy and expensive. I have to pay for everything with the money my husband gives me. I have to pay for their food. I have to pay for their violin lessons. I have to pay other children to play with them. I'm kidding, they don't play violin, I'm not a monster. Anybody ever do yoga?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did yoga for this joke. To me, it's a lot like kindergarten, right? First, you go to a class, you hear words you don't understand, then you play Twister, and then you take a nap. First of all, can we just agree that the instructor's 1,000 years old? Why is she still calling it a practice? Like, how much practice does this bitch need? And she goes, oh, make sure your core is tight. Make sure your core. I'm like, what's a core? I mean, you mean my stomach? I never looked at a medicine bottle and said, take on an empty core. Do you have a core ache? No, I have a stomach ache. So she says, okay, be a happy baby. Be a warrior. I'm like, what is she smoking? Then she says, okay, everybody, make sure your legs are touching and they're glued together. I'm like, they are. Now I'm depressed. She says, get on the mats and do downward dog and clear your thoughts. Clear my thoughts. Now I can't stop thinking about my dog. Did I feed him today? Oh my God, I always have to take him for walks. I have to take him to the vet now. I know there's something wrong with him. I never take him for a walk. Now they want another dog. I'm not getting another dog. You know what? I am stressed. I hate yoga. At the end of the class, the teacher said, Namaste. I said, Namaste! Then she says, she did do something. I get something out of it. You know when you manifest stuff on the mat at the end? You know, you just like start to attract things. Mm-hmm. I manifested abundance. It's a good one. Because my kids got lice, I'm telling you. So yeah, my friends are giving me a little bit of a hard time because I give my children an eating disorder on purpose, mostly to save money. Let me tell you something. I'm not that kind of mother where I tell them the eating disorder where they throw up their food. I'm a Jewish mother. That's a waste of food and money. I would never do that. The kind of eating disorder where I tell them they're fat so they stop eating dinner. Let me tell you something. Over time, that adds up, and there's a Porsche out there, and it's got my name on it. It ain't buying itself. So autocorrect gets me in trouble. It really does. Every time I use it, something happens. I innocently wrote to my grandfather, "Hi, Grandpa, I'm coming to town. Are you around?" And he's like, "What kind of question is that?" It says, "Hi, Grandpa, I'm coming to town. Are you aroused?" Oh, my phone knows me so well. Because I say that word a lot. And because he's hot. For 93. He's so cute. I took him to the gym after my grandmother died because he wanted moral support. He's like, "Victoria, what machine's going to make me sexy and buff for the ladies?" I go, "Grandpa, you are adorable." "It's the ATM machine. Now give me 5 reps of 20. That Porsche isn't buying itself, guys. Anyway, I'm Victoria Arnstein. That's my time. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow. That was great.
Wow.
That was
I know.
awesome.
She's
Great,
funny.
great stuff. Great stuff. Yes.
Really funny.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
our next guest.
Oh, yes. Our next guest is Connie Perry. Hi, Connie.
Hi, Tom.
How are you doing?
Nevin, Miranda. I'm good. I'm very good.
Good,
Nice
good.
to be here.
So where are you from?
Originally from Massachusetts.
Ah, okay. How long in New York?
21 years.
Oh, okay.
No
Now,
looking back.
Okay, good.
You better not go to any Boston games. They're in last place.
I know.
Oh, no.
So what made
to
you get
remind
into
me.
comedy?
What up, boy?
Years ago, I saw comics do it. I was interested. There were mostly men on the bill, so I had to do something about that.
Okay. And do you have a favorite comedian?
I'm liking Tiffany Haddish now, and
Okay.
not only because she's exuberant, but she's giving some of her friends some time. You know, she's got a special, and it's like they're ready. So it's like I kind of like that. She's supporting her community, which is nice. I think it's great.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years in the comedy world?
God, broke, tired, hitting all the mics. Oh, I don't know. It'd be nice to do a half-hour special.
That would be nice,
It
sure.
would be.
But before you do that, do you have any dark secrets?
I don't have a half hour. That's the darkest secret I have.
You have a lot of dark secrets. I see that. Okay.
And also, I don't like sports. I don't care that I'm not a Red Sox fan. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're not.
Yeah, we all are.
Oh, so that's not
Do you
a
have a
secret
favorite
anymore.
comedy show?
Lately, I've been watching Seinfeld, the early ones when he does stand up.
Okay.
And they're pretty. I mean, those bits are pretty terrific. And then it jumps to what he was talking about in his material.
Right,
So
right.
I kind of like that just to watch it, but.
Now, before you mentioned you do improv, so when you get on stage, is it rehearse stuff in your mind, improv, 50-50?
Little bit of both, 50-50. Some of the structures are, so I work with a group called Erdy Improvisational. It's, they craft structures, character-based. So we do rehearse, like, what has to happen in the time, and then we do remember some of the funny bits, but then anything goes.
Okay.
Totally.
That's nice. So beside comedy, any other interests, hobbies?
I do a visual arts project, Deer Cards. That's my Instagram. It's people color the cards. So it's a public participatory. Instagram Deer Cards is the sample. You could see it. It's like a
Okay.
portfolio.
That's
But
interesting.
it is pretty fun.
Now,
So.
you have a TV show on Manhattan.
I do, yeah. It's the Connie Award, and it's an improv award show, and there's nothing like that for improvisational players, so it's kind of a takeoff on the Tony. It's Antoinette Perry Award is the Tony, so it's Connie Perry is the Connie. Lovely me.
Nice. That's nice.
I'm sorry, Tom.
It's
I-
like
I
the
stole your
Nevin
question.
show.
No, that's okay.
It's like the Nevin show, right?
The Staten Island Comedy Show? Okay.
You know what I mean.
So how could the people out there find out more about you? Are you on Facebook,
I am on
Twitter, and all
Facebook,
that?
Connie Perry, and I have a YouTube channel, Connie Perry.
Oh, nice.
Twitter, I just look at people's Twitter. I do not engage.
Okay. So you have 5 minutes for
I
us?
do, yes,
Excellent.
I do. Thank you.
Very good.
Whoa.
How do you like that?
Hi. That was explosive. Woo. I can't hear it either ear. It's great to be here in Staten Island. I know. It doesn't smell like weed. New York City smells like weed. I don't know if you've been outside lately, but whoa. Okay, so next will be legal with the weed.
Don't worry, there's a lot of weeds out there.
There's a lot of weed out there, thanks. So my parents are white people from Maine. They moved to Massachusetts because they thought they were rebellious. Well, I moved to Harlem because I thought I was bootylicious. Yeah, big ass, right? Ooh, yeah, it was fun there. So whenever I go back visiting Boston, I am amazed, admiring, I respect the letter R. Everyone says, pack, you cat. I don't know. Staten Island has its own way of saying an R. R is a beautiful letter, R. Being from Massachusetts, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I try to be sort of political. It's important for me to keep the Kennedy spirit alive. It used to mean having sex and alcohol with many. These days, it's a little rough. You're supposed to abstain from alcohol or be in recovery, and I'm only going to have sex with liberal Democrats who are going to vote. You know, it's desperate times, so I got to do what I can. So, whenever I go to Massachusetts, it's usually for an event, like a wedding. Oh, I'm so tired of going to weddings, because somebody's always going to have to ask me, Connie, when is your wedding? When is it, girl? And I always have to say, well, why do I need a special day to have sex with a married man? I mean, what world are you living in, people? Okay, I'm single. I had an online dating experience, but it ended very sadly. Yeah, the guy had a heart attack. His wife found his browser history. Okay, stupid. So I moved to New York to pursue my desire to be an actress. So here I am in Staten Island doing comedy. I know, what a world, right? So after a while, you got to audition. You got to be out there auditioning, and it's relentless. And hey, I disappoint a lot of people because no, I'm not Susan Sarandon. But I do lie a lot to go to auditions. I mean, I've had a mammogram 20 times in the past 3 months. I'm okay. I'm really okay. And dear Nana has died 5 times already. You gotta lie to get out there. You gotta be in it to win it, I guess, right? And sometimes it's really stressful auditioning, you know? It's like they're in the room, they're staring you down, and somebody whispers, "She can't act her way out of a paper bag." Well, excuse me, but if I am in a paper bag, I think I'm gonna really do some acting, because first I'm gonna figure out, oh my God, I'm in a paper bag. What am I doing in a paper bag? I mean, what if I'm squished up against Chinese takeout containers? And what if, oh my God, it's stapled, and it's on its way to apartment 14C. Okay. Thank you. I'm here all night. Remember that expression, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV? I rewrote it. I'm not an actress, but I pay enough union dues to play on TV. Thank you, SAG. Things are not that bad for me. I'm on camera a lot. I'm on camera daily. Yeah, surveillance cameras are everywhere. Ooh. Careful what you do in Times Square. There's like jumbotrons now. New York is fantastic. And I recently participated in a marathon, and I'm only now recovering. It was kind of grueling. I mean, I was exhausted. Yeah, 26.5 hours visiting my mother. Slop through, yeah! Oh my God, she's old. She's a really nice lady, but she's old. This Easter, her idea of a resurrection was actually getting up and out of her recliner. Oh, love the lady. An egg hunt for her was trying to remember names. Like mine. I know she'd call me Jane. It's fine, Mom, I love ya. Mwah. Like, old ladies are like bunnies. They're fuzzy, they're cute, and they're best contained in cages. I mean, condos. Her mind runs and runs and runs and runs, but not her legs. I worry, what if she falls? What if I push her? Because of her, I'm not facing another birthday. Not again, ever. The thing that's worrying me is my fake age is getting old. Okay. More on that later, but I just want to say, I gave up my Catholicism this year for Lent, and it was the most rewarding thing I could do. I'm totally liberated. Before I did, I went into confession and I said, "Bless me, Father. It's been a while since I've had sex with a young boy. How about you?" He's still saying those Hail Marys. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Yes.
Really good, man.
Yes.
Awesome.
Hey, Fred.
Yeah.
I like your jacket, man.
Thank you.
Really good. You look like a.
This is a Frank Zappa jacket.
Wow, that's cool.
He has his own clothing line.
Oh, yeah. Did anybody?
Zappa. I don't know if he owns it, but
Did anybody call you a cougar so far?
yeah. 30 years ago, yeah. Wait a minute.
So Fred, you have an interesting story, right?
I got a lot of interesting stories there.
You have something with Johnny or something?
With Johnny?
Johnny, you.
Oh, Little Anthony? What do I?
Oh, Little Anthony, right?
Little Anthony, yeah. Oh, and the Imperials, yeah.
Right. So what happened?
We were on the road, yeah. No, what happened was, Nevin wanted to know what happened with this. I was telling the story. We were on the road. We did a 28-day tour with Little Anthony, and one night we got into the place. I set up the drums, everything.
Right.
And then I says, "Wow, I'm getting tired." I went in the back.
Right.
In the dressing room, and I fell asleep. Guess what happened?
What?
I fell asleep too long.
Oh no.
So anyway, they were knocking on the door, finally they broke the door down. He says, "You're on." I said, "Yeah, I'm on." It was 9 o'clock.
Well, so
They
were actually on the stage and had no drummer?
They were on the stage. Yeah, Little Anthony, yeah. And we had to open up with cold as ice.
Well, you made it though.
Cold as ice.
Oh, boy.
So they knocked the door down and got you, right?
I'm as cold as
ice.
Brad.
I thought I was dreaming. I thought I was in Alaska.
Okay. All right, Fred. All right, so good drumming tonight. Nice outfit.
Oh, don't you worry about that. I got plenty more where that came from. Yeah.
All right, so we have our next guest, right?
Yes. Jitan Naythal. Did
Close
I say
enough.
it right?
No, you completely murdered it.
How do you say it?
It's Jitten, naughty Al.
Oh,
Alabama.
I think he spelled it wrong.
You can call me
Okay.
Fabio.
You look like Fabio.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good, great. We're happy to have you here. Where are you
No,
from?
you're not, Miranda.
Why would I not be happy? Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from India, but here I live in Princeton, New Jersey.
Came a long way.
Oh, nice. And how long have you been doing comedy?
Overall, 4 years now.
4 years.
2 years
Okay.
here, 2 years in India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any other hobbies or interesting things that you do?
Well, I'm an audiophile. I collect records and turntables.
Okay, cool. What made you get into comedy?
When I was a kid, I saw this movie called The Jerk, Steve Martin.
Oh, you didn't see the
Yeah.
Oh.
And that movie left an impression on me, and that's what I wanted to do.
Wow, that's awesome. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Probably with a green card.
That's awesome. Good luck with that.
That's a good start.
Who's your favorite comedian?
Richard Pryor. My Mount Rushmore is Richard Pryor, Louis C.K., Steve Martin, and Jerry Seinfeld.
Nice. Okay, that's cool. Do you have any dark secrets?
I see dead people.
Really? That's great.
That was from The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I mean, who can
Everybody
forget
knows
that movie?
right?
Yeah. But now you have something in common with The Sixth Sense. So where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, Jitnaut, Jitnaut.
Oh, okay.
I'll be there.
Nice. And do you have any upcoming shows or anything you want to put out there?
Yes, I have a lot of shows at Broadway every week. I have a residency there, so they give me
Cool.
1 show per week. So yeah,
Cool, that's awesome. You have
Perfect.
you have 5 minutes for us?
absolutely.
Nice.
Hello, guys. Now, growing up, I was a very ugly child. But then I really worked hard on my English, my body language, and my sense of style. And now you can see I'm a very ugly adult. Yeah. Well, I've never said anything to a female that might be considered harassment, Because you have to be noticed by girls to have them think that you harassed them. And since my childhood, I had this superpower. I was invisible to girls. But there was this one female who was immune to my superpower. and I married her. Yeah.
Get out.
I still remember the first time we met. It was our wedding day. Unlike Americans, we don't ask our females, will you marry me? We tell them, you will marry me. You know, I've had a very tough childhood. Both my parents were very, very strict, especially my mom. I remember once she slapped me because I was crying. Because she slapped me. And they were like typical Indian parents. They had unrealistic expectations. You know, when my wife was pregnant, I wanted a boy. My wife wanted a girl. My parents wanted a doctor. And it didn't end there.
Oh my God.
When my wife was about to deliver the baby, the doctor came in running and said, "Sir, we have to do a C-section." My dad shouted at him, "Nobody in our family got a C. Try A+ section." So last week I was in the city performing this show, and this producer asked me, "Yo, Jitten, would you like to do a comedy fundraiser show?" I said, "Sure. Anything for a good cause." "What's the cause about?" He said, "We are raising money for the obese kids in America." I got confused. Like in my country, we raise money for the hungry kids. And here you want to give more money to the obese kids? Like, how does this thing work? I mean, if you really want to help them, just keep them away from the food. I'm not doing that show anymore. You know, people who beg for money are very different here than in India. Here, they have Nikes. Back home, they have leprosy. Now, this guy outside the Walmart near my house, he has a very confusing way of asking for money. I don't know if he's asking or offering. He's like, "Sir, would you care for $1 today?" I'm like, "Yeah, how about them Yankees, huh?" Now I just go to the Target. But I have another embarrassing moment at Target. Now this happened when I was new to US, and I was in Target. I was looking to buy that athletic supporter for gym. So I was browsing, and this Target girl approached me and said, "Sir, can I help you with something?" I said, "Sure, I'm looking for that athletic supporters." Then she said, "Have you tried dicks?" Which I thought was quite presumptuous. I mean, I'm a married man. But then I think she understood what I was thinking, so she just laughed and pointed outside. There was Dick's Sporting Good outside. And I was like, they have a whole store for them? Like, if somebody in India would have told me there is a store called Dick's Sporting Good, I would have never believed. Yeah. You know, there's a stereotype that we Indians are cheap. We are. You know, at my bachelor's party, this is the real example. At my bachelor's party, I saw one of my Indian friend negotiating with the stripper. Now she wanted $20 to touch her boobs. He said he's only gonna give 10 and will touch only one of her boob. I asked him, "Why did you do that?" He said, "The other one would have felt the same, and I saved $10. Not only he's cheap, he's a thinker. He's running a very successful startup right now. Nipster. All right, guys, that's my time. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
Had to be one of the funniest.
Never seen that coming.
I
Nev.
never seen him before, but I'm very impressed.
I know,
Very
that was
impressed.
really
Don't
funny.
get excited. There's more to come.
You know,
Don't get excited.
Wait a minute.
Our next guest is Jody Oliver. But Jody, you've been on the show before.
Yes.
How you doing? Welcome
I'm
back.
okay. A little hoarse tonight.
Okay.
Good.
Well,
Would you-
maybe
you met a
we
horse.
have a special
Horse.
guest tonight. We're gonna think about the to get the psychic insulter out here tonight, so we have to really concentrate, Tom.
Okay.
And so we got to concentrate to get the psychic insulter out. So let's all, Staten Island,
predictor.
everyone out there, just
my
concentrate.
God.
Let's get the psychic insulter out here.
Predictor.
There he is. You woke me up. I'm the psychic insulter.
Oh boy.
Nevin, you're so dumb. It took you 2 hours to watch 60 Minutes. And Nevin, you're so ugly, you make onions cry. And Nevin, you're so dumb. When your father said, it's chilly outside, you ran out there with a spoon. I'm the psychic insulter.
All right, we got him. Right, we got him out.
Wow, that was cool. That was great.
Thank you, Staten Island,
I've
everyone.
never seen him before. That's crazy.
Wow.
Wow, he's funny.
Yeah, we got him out though,
He's
right?
mean.
See what happens when you concentrate on the Staten Island comedy
Oh,
show?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anything can happen.
That's right.
You know, anything. So, Jody Oliver, how you
Yes.
doing?
So funny.
How is everybody?
Good.
Thank you.
All right, Jody, and where are you from?
I'm from Queens, New York.
Okay, and how did you get into comedy?
I started with comedy. Well, actually, I started way back with dance.
Oh,
I was a
okay.
dancer,
Oh, okay.
and then a dancer-singer, and a dancer-singer-actress. And I was on Broadway, film, television, and I got injured. And I couldn't dance, but I loved comedy, so I went into comedy.
Oh, great.
First comedy improv, then stand-up.
Oh, good. Now, when you growing up, were you a class clown in school or anything like that?
No,
Anybody
I was
inspired
one of
you like that?
these.
Oh, you were. Okay, so that didn't really inspire you. It was the other thing. Okay, all right. So now, did you ever perform something funny where there was a blooper or anything? Did you have a blooper like when you were performing? Did you misspoke or threw a word in there that wasn't supposed to happen?
Yes, when we were filming one of the movies I did for HBO, Delivery Boys, there were bloopers in there. People messed up on their lines, and they were very funny.
Okay, yeah.
You know, they showed it back to us
Oh, good.
and used it at the end of the movie.
We have that happen a lot here.
Oh, yeah. We do, for real.
And do you write your own material?
Yes, I
your
do.
Your own routines and stuff? Oh, okay. And it's what is it about? Life events?
Yes, they're all true.
Oh, okay. Right. Do you have any other interests or hobbies?
Yes, I'm an artist and a dancer, a dance teacher, choreographer, designer,
Oh, good. Do you do jewelry or something like that? Or
clothing.
Clothing line? Okay. No jewelry.
I do jewelry also, but mainly clothing.
Oh, okay. Good. Oh,
You have great style, so.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love your earrings and necklace.
Do you have any other projects that you're currently working on?
Well, I'm doing Gotham Comedy Club coming up,
Nice.
and comic strip this Thursday night.
Oh, okay, great. And how can people get your information?
They can check out Facebook, and there's a thing where everybody's story goes. And I always post my dates of my shows in my story
Okay, good.
Great.
and all the events that are going on.
Okay, great. Now, do you have 5 minutes for us?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Jody Oliver, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
I teach dance exercise to seniors in Queens, New York. And they're getting really strong from taking my class. All except for this one old guy who's really weak. He's so weak, But after taking my class for 4 weeks, he got so strong, after class one night, he mugged me. And you should see some of the clothes they wear. This one old woman comes in, and she's wearing these radio furs from head to toe. And I ask her, aren't you hot in that? And she says, no. It makes me feel like a movie star. And you know, she did look like a movie star, specifically Chewbacca. And my seniors are from all over the world. Indian, Chinese, black, Spanish. And every time I walk into the classroom, it's like an international rainbow of bad breath. I polish my toenails once every 3 weeks. It's a real chore. I can't see my toes over my stomach. So, I don't know when I'm finished. For all I know, I could have painted the floor. Last week, I passed out. I woke up, and the cat was painted. And my bad days aren't like everybody else's bad days. I got busted for using cocaine in the ladies' room of the diner. And the cops tell me, you get to make one phone call. And I said, good. I'm calling my dentist. He'll tell you it's not cocaine. It's tooth whitening, you morons. So I finally get home from the police station, and I couldn't wait to get into the shower. And I'm singing, don't rain on my parade. I'm really belting it out, when my whole bathroom ceiling caves in. There's plaster dust all over me, and my bathroom's a total wreck. Well, at least now it matches the rest of my apartment. And I'm thinking, too bad my mother's not here to see me now. She always wanted to see me dressed in all white. And I'm naked, and I look up, and there's this huge hole in my ceiling. And there's this awesome-looking dude staring right down at me. And I ask him, what are you looking at? And he says, hey, lady, I'm looking at your floor, which is now in your tub. You need a plumber. I'm a plumber. You want me to come down and fix your pipes? Well, if you're a plumber, then I'm a born-again virgin. Would you be so kind as to get your head out of my hole? Thank you.
Hey, Tom.
Very good.
So we have our next guest.
Next is John Fox, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Yes, you pronounce yes, you pronounce both syllables right. Perfect.
Isn't that amazing? I
Yes.
amaze myself sometimes.
You always get the easy ones.
Yeah, I know. So, where are you from, John?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, how'd you get into comedy?
So my senior year of high school, I went to New York Comedy Club on my prom night because that's where you go when you're cool. And we went to this very long prom show, and I've always wanted to do something on stage, and all my friends were musicians, but I wasn't musically talented like that. But then I saw this one guy who went to high school with a bunch of my friends, and I'm like, okay, maybe I could give this a try. Turned out that was Pete Davidson from SNL.
Wow.
Wow.
How long ago was that?
That was 2011.
Look,
You know, Pete Davidson was on this show.
Oh,
He
really?
was on it twice.
Oh,
right,
nice.
Right, Fred? Yeah, he was on it twice.
is he your favorite comedian or somebody else?
He's definitely someone I relate to because we both went to all-boy Catholic high schools, but my favorites definitely are Chappelle and Bill Burr.
Okay, okay. Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully, doing a lot more shows than I'm doing and maybe a little bit more healthier.
Okay. Any other projects you're working on?
Well, I got like my comedy brand that I co-produce, Peer Pressure Comedy. I believe you've done my mic before.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're trying to get more shows into it now after like a year of running it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we run it at Much More's once a month and Eastville Comedy Club in Brooklyn twice a month now.
Oh, good.
I got the North Virginia Comedy Festival this weekend. I'll be back here next month for the Fifth Borough Comedy Festival.
Okay.
And Broadway Comedy Club as well next month.
Wow, you're keeping busy. So how can a person contact you? See your schedule, whatever.
So basically, it's mostly on Facebook. My Twitter is @thisfox.rocks, and my Instagram is @HeyIt'sFoxyJ.
Great. You got 5 minutes ready for us?
Yeah, let's do this. All right. So I'm 26 years old, and by default, I'm a millennial. So let me tell the adults in the room that I'm sorry. I control my age, guys. This is it. And here's the thing I noticed, like, millennials get a bad rep for being lazy because they're millennials, and I don't think I'm lazy because I'm a millennial. Like, I believe I'm lazy because I'm getting fat and I don't work out. Like, I feel like my body should be the obvious one, not my age, right? That should be the obvious one. Like, I'm not obese, but I've seen myself in the mirror. Like, I am a single man with the body of a guy who just got comfortable in his relationship. Like, that's what I'm working with. And I'm very unhealthy because I eat a lot of fast food, and I know I eat a lot of fast food because I have the bathroom code to a Burger King memorized. Yeah, and this is in Manhattan. I live in Brooklyn. That's nowhere near where I live. I can just walk into this one place and be like, hey, I bought something. Let me in. Yeah, I know I'm doing this, but like I've been out of my parents for almost 2 years now, and here's the thing though, like moving out of my parents has improved my love life, but it's still terrible. And here's why: because from ages 12 to 24, I was sleeping in a single bunk bed. Yeah, which is also known as a loft bed, and if you're still not following, I climbed a ladder to fall asleep at night for 12 years. I get it, I'm a young guy, I still have time to figure it out, but let's be honest, you can't be a single guy and try to convince a woman to get into a loft bed. That's non-existent. The best I've ever come up with was, well, up this ladder's where all the magic happens. Yeah, you ever heard that song Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin? It's a very similar concept. 5 to 8 minutes. Interpret it however you want. It really doesn't make a difference to me. Everyone has their own opinions. Yeah. I will say this, though. I am happy that robocalls are being taken more seriously. Because I thought it was just me. So for months, I just thought I got drunk and forgot I made friends. Yeah, I've literally been looking at my phone just going, did I tell someone from Slovenia that we should hang out? I should probably cut back. Yeah, I'm also a big alcoholic. Like, you guys ever get so drunk that you made an Ashley Madison account? That's something I really did, guys. Yeah, I got so drunk one night, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna ruin somebody's marriage. Let's see who's unhappy out there. Yeah, and I do think drinking comes from, like, where you come from and, like, who you surround yourself by. Because last year, I went to Ireland and I learned how to drink Jameson for the first time in my life without coughing. Yeah, apparently what you're supposed to do is swirl the glass around, inhale the scent, and sip slow. And as I'm doing this, I'm like, this isn't how I first learned how to drink Jameson. I first learned how to drink Jameson from a guy in a tank top shouting at me to stop being a bitch. There was always a guy in a tank top, a backwards hat. He thought being a DJ was going to be a cool career. We've all met this guy. He's not doing well at this point. All right, that's it for me, guys. Thank you very much.
So we have our last comic.
Julian Saul.
How are
you?
you? Good. How are you doing?
Great. Where are you originally from?
Originally from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Nice.
Brooklyn in the
Me
house.
too.
There we go.
What got you into comedy?
Mental illness. Actually, I always loved comedy. I did it since I was a kid.
Nice.
And I came out of the womb going, what's this on my face, Egg? Get it off.
How long have you been doing comedy?
Well, I actually made my debut in 1994 at Caroline's Comedy Club. My ex-wife was still close. She was involved in comedy for many, many years, and we actually got married on stage that night.
Oh,
that's so
nice. Oh,
nice.
that's great.
Yeah, marriage didn't last, but the friendship did.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite comedian?
I have two, Dangerfield and Jackie Mason.
Awesome.
Nice ones.
Yeah, they're idols to me. I mean, as a kid growing up, I watched
Jackie
Jerry
Mason was,
Lewis.
his daughter was on the show.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jackie Mason's
Wow.
daughter.
Sheba, what's her name?
Sheba Mason. Yeah,
Sheba.
she's a comedian
Wow.
in the city, right?
Yes.
Man.
Great. Nice. And what's your favorite comedy TV show that you watch?
There's really no favorites. Comedy is comedy, and if it's funny, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can't really point that because some episodes will be better on one, some on another.
Yeah, you're right.
Otherwise, they'd be considered racial.
Yeah, yeah. Where can people find you? On social media?
At home.
You want to give everybody your address? No.
Yeah. Well, I do. I'm a regular at the comic strip. I work out my sets, and I've been doing now for 2 years. I had to get out of comedy. A few reasons. One was health reasons. I got sick 19 and a half years ago, and I couldn't get back into comedy because I had to reestablish my character again. So that took a little time. So I've been doing comedy now steady for just about a little over 2 years.
Okay, and we can get you on Facebook and everything like that, your schedule?
Well, I'm there Wednesday nights and Sundays, Sunday
okay.
nights.
All
So
right.
that's easiest.
Okay, great.
Do you have any upcoming other projects that you're doing?
Well, I know you had Angel Salazar here. He was a roommate of mine, and well, we were together, and we wrote a script, Cuban Sandwich, and we're trying to push that right now. And I'm working with another gentleman right now on another short film version of. I don't want to get into it. It's secret right now, so I can't even say it.
Do you have
Okay,
5 minutes
nice.
for us?
Sure.
Okay, great.
Greetings, Staten Island.
Staten Island.
I made it to the show here. It's great. We got here early, too. Okay, well, a little bit about me. I come from a mixed marriage, man and a woman. I'm old school. It takes a little time to absorb that. I'm a millennial. I'm also, I know you don't believe it, I had myself aged, so I don't look like them. Goodness gracious. So, a little bit about me, when I was a kid, people didn't know if I was a troubled kid or just getting in trouble. Let you decide. I remember I was in the 3rd grade, and the teacher asked Maria to go to the blackboard, to the map, and to go find North America. And she did. She's the smartest kid in the class. And then she asked me, she says, okay, Julian, who discovered North America? I said, Maria. She says, no, that's not right, and it's not funny. And by the way, that report you did on your dog, it's exactly like your brother's. It's the same dog. Growing up, you're looking at me, everybody says, oh, he's a biker, he's probably derelict, probably was a high school dropout. I was not a high school dropout, I was thrown out. No. But I built race cars, and I was one of those kids that built race cars, a typical Jewish kid, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. So I built race cars, so we took the cars out on the street, and we'd be flying on a highway. So one day the cop pulls us over, my buddy tells me there's lights behind us, so we pull over, and I wait, the cop gets out of the car, says, wise guy, you know why I stopped you? I says, yeah, because I'll let you. Anyway, got written up, I get home, cop, there's a knock at the door. Who is it? It's the police. What do you want? We want to talk to you. We? How many are you? 4. There's enough of you there, talk to yourselves. I don't know if I was just trouble or getting in trouble. A buddy of mine, a few weeks ago, got arrested for sexual harassment. This is getting ridiculous now. All because he told a girl her hair smelled nice. Is that not ridiculous? Oh, granted, he's only 3 foot tall, but still. Did he marry people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good. I've been married twice, so what's that tell you? I'm divorced twice. I should have been widowed the first time, but you can't always get what you want. I won't even get into the first marriage. It was that bad. I can't say it on TV. But anyway, we split everything down the middle, including the house. I got the outside. My second wife was great, though. But, she got me into the comedy and stuff. But I got to make it quick, so I'm just going to say, when we got divorced, I was in a bad depression, okay? And I never drank. And that time, I went out, and I drank like a fish. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, the bars were closing, and I was staggering. I could barely walk, so I said, screw it. 3 o'clock in the morning, I took the bus home. Has anybody taken a bus at 3 o'clock in the morning? The craziest people on a bus, right?
Yeah.
And there's no place to park it. Give you one last one before I go. So I went out with a couple of buddies of mine. We started to drink. We hanging out at the place. And a couple of ladies walk in. And they're kind of big. But I talked to everybody and I said, listen, she's got an accent. So I said, excuse me, are you ladies from Scotland? She turns around to me and she says, Wales, you idiot, Wales. I said, I'm sorry, are you two whales from Scotland? Thank you so much. That's my
All right, great show.
Wow,
Great show. Great show.
Bodybuilder Bob.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how you doing? How you doing? We have about a minute left. I heard you had a knee replacement, right?
2 knees, yes.
2 knee replacements.
2 knees,
You
yeah.
look a little taller.
I am 1 inch taller, and I'm not so bow-legged anymore.
Oh, good. Oh, great. We had to lift up the podium for you.
That's correct. Yeah.
All
I had to wear
right,
flat
great.
shoes now. Yeah.
Oh.
And they couldn't wait to get me out of the hospital. When I know quite a bit about medical stuff. At one time I wanted to be a doctor. But anyway, when they said to me, any questions do you have? And I said, yes, before you do anything on my knees, I just have a couple, things that I want you to do. And they said, what's that? I said, I do not want knees made in China. I want the ones made here. He said, oh, no, they're titanium. And I said, okay. And the second thing is I want the industrial strength ones because I'm still into bodybuilding and working out. And he says, oh, okay. Now, by then, they want to get me out of there. He says, anything else? I said, is there a right knee and a left knee? He goes, oh, well, yes. I said, well, you make sure you get them right. I don't want to wear my shoes on opposite feet. They did the operation the first time in my life. I was high as a kite because I never even took aspirins, really, until they did the operation on my leg. And I wake up, and what's the first thing I see? These beautiful nurses, young nurses. Of course, they're 50 years old, which is very young to me. So anyway, I said to them, the first thing I said, oh, hi, how you doing? He says, it's nice to see you and everything else. You got anything, you like older men? She goes, oh, I got this thing for older men. I says, really? What do you got for older men? She says, pepper spray.